And hello again, Warriors fans. Our season preview series continues with the spotlight on football as the Warriors kick off this Saturday down at Lake Forest. Fifth-year head coach Eric Treske is here. And Coach, first of all, I've kind of done this with a lot of the coaches. What did you do on your summer vacation?
On my summer vacation, spent a lot of time with family.
Did you guys go anywhere? Big trips? Anything?
We had a big trip kind of prior to summer.
Okay.
Really cool thing through my wife's work. We were able to kind of piggyback a work trip into a honeymoon, fifth-year anniversary type trip. So,
Wow.
Yeah, we went over to Europe. I've never been over there before. Got to see the Czech Republic, Prague. If you've never been there, super beautiful city. And then we were able to stack on a trip to Italy together. And so we spent some time on the coast and then saw Rome. And yeah, very huge blessing. I've never thought I'd ever be able to travel like that, so that was cool.
Did you see the Coliseum?
Did see the Coliseum. I got to see the Mamertine prison where Paul was actually wrote some of the letters. That was pretty wild. Yeah, it was an amazing trip.
You know, whenever you travel somewhere like that, it puts history in perspective. You know, we're here in the U.S. and we think, oh, that's an old building.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this city is really old.
Yeah.
And then you go to Europe, for example, and no, that's a whole other realm of old.
You're not lying. So Prague, for example, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
So Prague had over 50 churches still in existence, standing right now today, that were in existence before the United States was ever a country. Mm-hmm. And it was just like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see living, breathing history, and so very grateful.
You know, hey, great segue. This is a historic season for Warriors football. This is the 25th anniversary of Warriors football, and we'll give some shout-outs and have some little walk down memory lane all season long. 25 years. I mean, for somebody who played here and now is the head coach of this program, what does that mean to you? Have you taken a moment maybe just to kind of think about that and the history?
It gets real when I get to meet alumni, and see some faces and talk with guys I haven't seen in a long time. Actually, the other day, we had an alum that I coached a decade ago. And
who's that?
Devin Finney. Finney, West Dallas Central Bulldog, came here, was a really great receiver, special teams guy for us. Just fun guy to be around. And he was doing some work in the area, and he popped by and said hi. And it's like he said to me, and I would totally agree. It's amazing to see where our program has grown into, and that was just 10 years ago for him. So for the guys that were here from the very beginning, I can only imagine. When they were practicing at Rainbow Park, you're playing at Valley Field. Like, to think about where Warrior football is now. I think a lot of us alums take a lot of pride in being able to help build something. And that was part of the vision. When Coach Miller, Coach Foss, the guys talked to us, it was like, hey, how would you like to help us build something? And it's been really cool to see, and it's been a real a privilege for me to continue to be able to do it in this role. So,
yeah, as the steward of the program now, let's talk about the offseason as it pertains to football-related matters. Give us maybe 2 or 3 areas where when you and your staff maybe were able to sit back and reflect and then look ahead with who you have coming back and the new guys coming in. Where did you want to get better?
Well, I think the first thing is I wanted to do a better job of empowering our leaders. We knew that we were going to have a pretty strong veteran presence going into the season. We'll have 18 seniors. And I didn't want us to make the assumption. I think sometimes you make an assumption as a coach that you're older, so you're now more prepared to lead. And that's, I don't think, a wise approach. So we did, we invested more into our players that were in those roles. We had the teams vote on kind of a captain in their position last year, became part of a group we called the 12 different guys would come in. We'd meet in this very room every week and talk about how to grow our team, how to begin to grow other leaders, right? They were obviously recognized by their teammates, but we know there's more guys in our program that are ready. We believe leadership is influence. Every player, every person has the ability to lead. So it was really cool for us to be able to start kind of pouring into guys that are pouring into the rest of the team. And I really believe going through this camp, like we're starting to see the fruit of that. Mm-hmm. There's a different mentality that we're carrying with ourselves now. We were always, I think, really close, a team that cared about one another, but I feel like we're more on mission right now, and it's a credit to those upperclassmen for sure.
You know, when we talk the logistics, X's and O's, tactically or technically speaking. Tell me if I'm wrong. I imagine that because of the veterans you have coming back, which is a luxury you haven't always had in the first 4 years here, to say the least.
It's the first time.
Okay, you said it. It's the first time, basically. Old group coming back.
Yep.
I imagine you don't have to start at point A. I mean, you're further down the alphabet, so to speak, in terms of where you started day one of camp, right?
Correct. Yeah. It allows you to lean on more experience. I'll never forget, this is something that happened to me years ago coaching a veteran group. And in the middle of a game, we were able to draw upon an experience that we had shared. Several of the guys that were in the huddle were shared 2-3 years ago that we can implement because we had that experience. So there's things that having a veteran group that you just really can't replicate as a coach. You do your best you can and develop the young guys. But I think you mentioned it before the conversation. There's some optimism about where our group is capable of this year, and I think that's a big reason why.
And there's legitimate optimism. I mean, I think, I'll just speak for myself here, I think you could probably walk into every coaching office in the conference and probably in the country if they haven't played a game yet, and every office is going to be optimistic to some degree.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And some of it may be more, I don't want to say fake, but maybe more veiled just to kind of hype up a young group. But with you guys, legitimate optimism based on the talent you have coming back with 8 of 9 all-conference honorees back this year. A quarterback in year 2 with you and in your program, a talented linebacking core and defense, and I'm rattling off a lot of things, but and fans need to know it's legitimate optimism for 2024.
It really is. The first thing I'll say, we have a strong league. That's one of the things we talked about a lot last year, even how the NAC has grown. And so our guys have been very, very close with some strong opponents. You look at the Benedictine games that we've had in the last couple of years, the last 2 St. Norbert matchups, we've had our battles back and forth with Concordia. You're looking at teams that are vying for the top 2 or 3 spots, really realistically saying vying for an 11th game. We'd love to play an 11th game. And I think all the guys that are back that have experienced before, they know how close we are. Like everybody wants to just bust through that door.
Yeah.
So.
The quarterback, as I alluded to, Bryce Barbie, in second year in the program, I asked you off the air, how was the mind meld going between second year Bryce Barbie and the offensive coordinator, head coach Eric Treske, and you said it's in a good place so far. It's in a really good place.
It is. It's amazing what happens in a year. Bryce, you got to kind of share his story a little bit last year when he was Player of the Week. Up until about 3-4 weeks prior to camp last year, he didn't even know if he was going to play college football, let alone being in our program and how we ran things. So you saw Bryce thinking a lot early in the season, and now I see Bryce playing football. I see him comfortable, confident. I see him being able to create. He's a gifted passer, and he can do it in a lot of different ways, different arm angles, all the fun things that you see. And so, it's been fun to see him play with that kind of looseness a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to have these previews all week, or all season long, I should say, previewing each game, kind of using this first conversation with Coach just to kind of look maybe a little more broadly on the season as a whole. Defensively, I think back to some of the really good, great Warrior teams of the past, and I immediately think of the linebacking core.
Yep.
And based on who you have back and the depth and the talent of this year's linebacking core, this is as good a group as maybe the program has had in a while. It kind of harkens back to some of those great groups that really led great defenses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing that I think is so unique about our linebacking group is the speed at which they play.
And that's the game now.
Yeah,
because you have to counter the speed on the offensive side.
Yep. And honestly, if you look back at a lot of them, their prep career, even a few of them started on the offensive side of the ball, and they've converted over to play defense. And I mean, they really move well, and we're very deep there. We feel like we have 8 to 10 linebackers right now that can play in a football game and play very well for us. So.
Your defense made a lot of big plays last year, and I know that the turnover stat is so important every game. Tackles for loss, and the speed that you guys have, it sounds like those numbers that were as gaudy as they were last year could even take another step.
That would be fun. I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
I'm putting it out there now.
Yeah,
I am.
Throw it out there.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I would love to see that. I think you will see us create some big plays. And I attribute it to the leaders that are on that group. You know, we're fortunate. We have 2 fifth-year guys coming back up front. You know, so Kyle and Allen, and they're going to be great for us up front. You got 2 all-conference linebackers sitting right behind them with some really athletic edge players right to their sides. Brandon Ansek and Xavion, Connor Martin. I mean, some veteran guys in the defensive backfield. Like, this defense is going to be fun to watch. They're not always fun to practice against. They make it tough, but I love it. I love it. It's what makes a good football team, is iron sharpening iron.
Mm-hmm. Your staff as a whole, and you already mentioned one name, Mike Fossum, who has been here for all prior 24 seasons and now in his 25th year. Talk a little bit about the staff you have assembled, because it is a full team effort in the office. For sure.
No, we're very thankful. So obviously it starts with Foss and Steve, our D coordinator. Pleasure to work with. I love their approach. I mean, the one thing about our staff, every guy, we have a different personality, we have a different way of communicating, but we coach to help guys take their next level in life. Football is just a part of that, right? This was a place that really was instrumental in my faith walk, brought me to Jesus, and I'm always very cognizant of that, and I'm very thankful I have a staff that's on the same wavelength. That's not an easy thing to say, that we're always going to put our faith forward when you're trying to get ready for an opponent. That competitive juices sometimes gets in the way of that, and those guys are right there with me. I love our GAs. You know, Justin Parb's in his second year as a GA, and man, is he doing a great job for us. Nolan Winkler, former player for us last year, stepping into his role. Our practices have never been more efficient because of Winks. Ryan Galasso, we got an intern that has been able to be with us quite a bit, that he's really been kind of a sixth man in the office, and he's got a lot of experience. He comes from the high school coaching realm, super sharp. He's made our staff better. He's got some unique strengths that are different than the other guys, and then we have a host of guys that unfortunately we don't have in the building, but man, do they bring great energy and experience. And I just love our group, man. So very, very grateful for all those guys.
You know, big picture, when fans come out to a ball game this season, what are they going to see? Win or lose? I mean, those things are can come down to a play or two, but win or lose, what should fans expect of the 24 team program?
They're going to see young men that know who they are. And I think it's important, if you're listening to this, I think it's important for you to understand, even if you're not an athlete anymore, that your performance and your identity are 2 separate things. And when you understand who you are, you're able to step back from how you perform, good or bad, and able to say, hey, what can I learn from this? What can I draw from this? And how can I take it to be better for others next time? And we have a group that's really, truly embraced that. And I think you're going to see a team that fights for each other because of that.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. As we said, the Warriors kick it off down at Lake Forest this Saturday, and then the home opener coming up on the 14th against a first-time opponent. Warriors and Buena Vista have never matched up, right?
Correct, yep.
It'll be a first-time matchup. It'll be 1 o'clock on the 14th. I do want to just make mention of the fact that you and your staff and your program have done a really nice job of, you only get so many home games in football, obviously. You got 5 of them this year, of tying in a promotion, an event to each game. Why is that important, and the importance to fans who are out there to take part in it all?
Well, the overall vision for the program has been to be a light to our community. And it starts obviously here on our campus, but it extends to the greater Milwaukee area. And we've been very blessed. The last few years, we've been able to kind of run a similar schedule, similar promotions, and build good relationships. So like, for example, the first game is going to be First Responders Day. I already know, Captain Padgett, you're my guy. You're going to be there with your squad. We're going to have a bunch of different guys from different districts throughout the city. Wauwatosa, Chief McGillis, you got people coming. We got the Tosa Fire Department's bringing trucks. Like, hopefully we can give them a honk if we get a little, if we score something fun. But like,
turn the sirens on too.
These are people, men and women, that are laying their life down for our community. We want to honor them. We want to thank them. We want to celebrate with them, and hopefully just give them a really good opportunity to come out and watch some good football. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And every week we try to do the same thing: Faith and Family Day, Youth Football Night. This year we'll try a Veterans Day. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a little bit new. So yeah, it's going to be a great year. And if you haven't come to see the Warriors play football, I'm telling you, it's a different experience than anything that you've seen before. We don't play football the regular way. We play it to give God the glory and to celebrate the people around us, so you should definitely come.
The game on the 21st against Eureka, the conference opener, it's like you said, it's youth football night. It's also homecoming, and there's going to be a celebration again of the 25th anniversary of Warriors football. I mean, you always get alum back when it's homecoming, but the silver anniversary of the program puts a little extra something in the tank for that one. That could be a really cool, and it's under the lights too.
Under the lights,
6 o'clock.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be a
all
great
the
day.
things. It's all the things. It's football past,
Are there
present,
fireworks?
future.
Do we know?
There will
Maybe?
be fireworks.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the rumblings.
All
Yeah.
right.
So there's going to be some fireworks there,
Rumor.
some giveaways, all sorts of things. It's going to be a unique time to be able to see people that really laid the foundation for the program, and then they'll be standing side by side with kids that are in 4th, 5th grade and playing football for the first time and getting to see what does it look like, to be a part of a college atmosphere. So pretty cool stuff.
Former Warriors and maybe future Warriors.
Future Warriors.
Right?
Oh
You
yeah,
never
it'd
know.
be great.
All right. We'll get you out of here on this, Eric Treske, 5th-year head coach of the football program. 5 questions in keeping with the time-honored tradition of these Q&As. The first answer that comes to mind, don't overthink it.
All right.
What is your favorite, number one, what is your favorite quote?
Favorite quote? I'm going to go with our team verse, John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends.
Number 2, what trait do you most admire in others?
Boldness.
Number 3, what is the game
My
show?
wife, by the way, she is one of the most bold people.
Bold.
Sorry. Yeah, I just have to. I'm going to give you a shout out, Hasmin. I love you. Yep.
Mrs. Treske, bold.
Yep.
Number 3, what's the game show you stand the best odds of winning?
Ooh. You know what? I'm pretty good at trivia, so I think I'd be a solid Jeopardy candidate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah, it is bold.
That is a bold answer.
I would probably, for fun, I would want to be on Family Feud or something like that because I feel like everyone has a good time on Family Feud, but Jeopardy would probably be the one.
Okay, that is. Number 4, can you whistle?
I can whistle.
Prove it. All right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Number 5, Summer Olympics or Winter Olympics?
Summer.
Okay.
So, ironically, though, I didn't watch any of it. I watched like one track event, and I watched the gymnast because that's always impressive.
Okay. It was in Paris, by the way.
It was in Paris, yes. Thanks.
And the bonus question, what does head football coach Eric Treske tell former Warrior wide receiver Eric Treske as he suits up for his first game in his first Warrior season? What does your coach self tell your freshman rookie player self?
2 things. Okay, 2 things. The first is never take this opportunity for granted. Nothing in life is promised to you. It's a blessing to be able to play this game. And the second thing, I wish I could have knocked on my 18-year-old self and say, hey, listen, man, it's not about you. It's about what can you bring to the table for others. And you'll find that when you give, you get back way more than you ever thought you would.
And the 2024 football season for the Warriors begins Saturday at Lake Forest. It'll be a 1 o'clock kickoff south of the border, and you can follow along, watch stats, or make the drive. But WLCSports.com is the place to be. Eric, we look forward to it. Can't believe we're here doing this all over again.
Let's do it.
Cranking it up. Thanks for
Love
watching, everybody.